most people stay broke for the same 3 reasons. These are the real 3 rules that I used to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building real wealth. This isn't just theory. I'm a finance manager that manages over $100 million in revenue. And these are the rules that I use for my own money. They're simple, but most people ignore them. Rule number 1 is pay yourself first. 25% of income immediately goes into a separate pot as soon as it comes in. This will either go into planned savings or planned investment. In the past, that has gone into a savings pot for me, or straight into a trading 212 account with my investments, or separately recently it has gone into an annual subscription for Whoop for my health and fitness. Importantly, 25% immediately goes away to pay yourself, because ultimately you start with you and then the rest of life. If you can start on the first paycheck that you get and immediately put 25% away and build this habit every single time, guaranteed if you see that through, you'll be in a better position at this point next year than you are now. The second rule is do not make emotional decisions about money on the day. Never make a decision over £100 on the day. Always sleep on it. This is my own £100 rule. Now, I know people are emotional and people want to make decisions at the moment, but there are different types of emotion. There are ones that are spurring in the moment. There are also emotional decisions where you wake up the next day and it's a strong feeling, and then you probably know it's a long-lasting one and you should act on it. Avoid the decisions on the day. Most of the time you'll wake up and realize that you really didn't want what you actually wanted. Because imagine if a business made decisions like this. It will go bust. And ultimately, you overall, as a financial entity, act like a business. You want to grow over time. You don't want to go bust and make stupid decisions. By this one rule alone, you can save thousands of pounds per year, because it's the big items that really matter. The small things do add up, but the big ticket items on a monthly basis, you don't make them that often. Say if you're going to make £300 purchases in a month and you make one less, that's going to save you more money than stopping 10 £10 decisions. Go for the higher value and just make this one rule, and it'll probably serve you better than trying to scrimp and save everywhere else. Rule number 3 is more of a mindset shift. Own assets and think long term. You want to go from thinking like a consumer to thinking like an owner. Because ultimately, when you're a consumer, you buy liabilities, things that ultimately cost you money and don't make you money. The rich don't buy liabilities, they buy assets, even if it starts small. I mentioned the power of compounding in the last video, but this really takes hold when you start to think about asset buying versus liability buying. The easiest way to think about this is to start investing and buying real assets. Separately, you can also buy assets in your own home that have a good value and resale value. Personally, this is how I often link purchases that usually will be liabilities. I'd look for a really good deal, say if I really need a monitor. I'd look for an amazing deal and know that the resale value is great. And the same with clothes. If I'm going to spend a lot of money on clothes, I'm looking for really high quality, good brands, high demand. So if I get bored, I can then resell at a really good price and reinvest that money, instead of it just being completely lost and spending £100 on a hoodie and then that's it. I don't like it anymore and it's lost forever. And this is also something that's really mentioned in this book, the classic Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The next time you buy something, think that will this thing bring you value in the future, or will it just cost you money? If you just follow one of these 3 rules consistently, I guarantee you'll be ahead of 90% of people. But do all 3 and your future self is guaranteed to thank you. The earlier you start, the easier it gets. And when you look back, no one can take that away from you. I break down these ideas, mindset shifts, and my own personal experience from being a finance manager at a FTSE Top 5 company into real strategies that you can use to build wealth every single week. So subscribe if you want to grow your money without the BS. And if you haven't seen my last video on 3 money moves I've made in my 20s that changed my life, it's a perfect next step, and I'll link it right here.